What if you believed that everything you ever wanted was on its way? You may have heard this before. You may think, okay, great, like I'm imagining that the thing is mine, but maybe it's fallen flat for you. So I'm going to let you know the belief that you may be subconsciously internalizing. And when you hear this, you will have an awareness that it is what you're thinking so that you'll be able to move forward from it. The key difference is preparing for what you know is coming versus trying to be good enough for something that you feel is out of reach, trying to be good enough for something that you feel may never come. So if you're spending your time even entertaining thoughts of, well, but if it doesn't happen, I guess this is what it'll be like. And if that is running the show in the background of all of these reasons or statistics, possibilities as to how and why it could be quite plausible that the thing that you really want will never manifest or happen for you, that's going to end up running the show. So, do you see the difference here? Where in one scenario, you are proactively making a plan and you have an end result. And the feeling behind that is one of, oh, okay, great. Like I'm taking these steps and I'm getting this result. So let's say that you sign up for a marathon. It's 26.2 miles. I think I'll be able to do that in around 4 hours. So I need to have around a 9-minute mile time. So these should be my splits all throughout. Okay, great. Plug it in and do it. However, let's use the same scenario. Let's say that you're training for a marathon, but you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm cut out for a marathon. Certainly, there are people who have done it, but I don't know anyone who's done it. And actually, yeah, the people who have done it, I don't really relate with. And it's like, what the heck? So maybe you are training, or maybe even not training as you should. And maybe when it comes to your mind, the steps that you need to take, either you don't take them or you do take them with the thought that, oh, I really don't think it's going to work out. This isn't to say to never question your aptitude or ability to get shit done and to get that end result. That's normal. It can happen, right? But there's a difference in having the belief that it's possible for you versus not. And this comes down to identity work. And so in the case of the marathon, if you identify as someone who's relatively fit, then maybe it's less of a stretch for you. Another example, it could be in love. Maybe even all your friends are paired up and in great relationships. But if you still have that thought of, oh, I don't really know if that can happen for me, or actually, I don't really think it can, but I'm going to go through the motions and get on the dating apps and do the thing. This is where you need to get really honest with yourself and to not be afraid to claim, okay, that's something that's going on in the background. And I'm acknowledging that in order to change it, in order to take ownership of what your thoughts are, right? Because if you're not taking active ownership of your thoughts are, in essence, owning you and what you are capable of achieving and experiencing in your life. So, this is your invitation to take that power back, reel it back in. And there are three ways that you can do this. So, I want to walk you through these three ways. One is to identify expanders. So, in the case of a love example, let's say that there's a couple on Instagram and you think, oh my gosh, they're so cute together. They have this playful banter. I want that one day. So, no matter how single you are, or no matter what your relationship history has been, healthy, not healthy, if you allow yourself to identify either people online, people in your circles, if you're just extra observant of people around you that are experiencing the thing that you wish to experience, and be really conscious here of transmuting jealousy. If you do feel a little bit jealous, that just means that you don't feel like you can have it or attain it. So allow yourself to imagine that you have it, really feel the feelings and lessen that gap. Take other steps that you need to believe that you are worthy of the thing that you want. This is where the other two things come into play. So my second recommendation is coaching. I have received coaching. I am in the coaching space, a little biased, but sometimes when you don't yet have the self-concept, there can be someone else in your circle that maybe has done the thing before that you want to do or embodies the change that you wish to embody. And maybe it's not always enough to observe on the sidelines. Maybe you want to have proactive conversations with someone that can actually help you achieve a similar result. An example in my own life would be when I first hired my first business coach. And I remember I had my rate set at a certain amount. And then she told me, oh, these are your new rates now. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, hold on, because I thought, oh, I have to incrementally increase my rates. That was the logical mind. Like, that makes sense, right? But she said, no. these are the new baseline. And you can go up from here, but this is the entry point that all of my clients start at. I don't know what I would have thought if she said that before I signed with her. Because, yeah, it challenged my logical mind. But then I got to rise to the occasion, rise into the identity of, oh, okay, well, I'm this woman's client. And this is like the very baseline of the people she works with. And obviously, I do feel like this is a really good fit. So I'm going to go with it. Okay, these are the new rates. Let's do this. And number three, so let's say that you have your expanders, you have your coach or coaches if you feel like you'd like mentorship in a variety of areas. And the third is your daily habits. And all of these things work in tandem together. And when you think about your daily habits, I'd like you to think about the actions that you take on a consistent basis that informs your self-concept and how others see you. If you would like to be more visible and talk on stages, but then you hardly ever put a lot of effort into your appearance, you're kind of living in sweatpants. If you want to really be like, oh, I'm the person, allow yourself to go to a conference and get mistaken for a speaker because you're dressed so nicely. These little things or tweaks that you can make, say if professionalism is important to you, that's something that you can begin to embody both in how you dress and your demeanor and being conscious of different filler words, for example. And another daily habit, fitness goals. Are you dedicating time in your life every single day towards movement, moving your body in any which way? Let's say that you have a certain goal of creativity. Do you have some sort of container that lets you know, okay, I can check that off, but not just to check it off in a disembodied way, like I did the thing, but how can you infuse and incorporate joy into the micro actions that you take that get to compound over time? So, an example of this in my life, there was a family friend who I had a conversation with, and he encouraged me, oh, you want to be a writer? How about you write every single day without fail for 1 year? And I feel like these are things that we can hear a lot and we can easily discard it and say, oh, yeah, sure, that would prove something to myself, and then easily not do it. But I decided, okay, I'm actually going to do it. And I remember there were times when I was in bed at night about to fall asleep, and I would remember, oh my gosh, I need to write today because I wasn't just writing, I published what I wrote in a blog. And okay, one step further would have been to tell people about the blog. It was readily available if someone looked for it. But yeah, it was one of those things where I just kind of I was posting every day and it was technically public. But see, it can happen in layers. And so in this case, the intention was to write. It wasn't necessarily around visibility. However, you can leave the door to visibility open, like I did by having it be on a public platform. I did it on, what is it, Blogspot back in the day. So, yeah, I'd like you to even think about when it comes to expanders, do you already have someone top of mind that embodies that way of living that you would like for yourself? And when it comes to a coach or a mentor, even if you don't have someone in your sphere right now that you have identified, oh, yes, this person, I really feel like I want to be in their energy more. They embody some of the things that I would like to become. Then this is your invitation. You can search on Google, Instagram. You can ask, hey, do you know of someone who does business coaching, who does life coaching? And yeah, just kind of see how you feel when you're interacting with their content. I recently hired a life mentor without ever having a call with her because a friend recommended her and I checked out her social media and I resonated. So, yeah, I went ahead and booked her highest engagement without a conversation because sometimes you just know. And it's not about getting into the logic trap, it's about understanding that sometimes and oftentimes, the biggest results that you get are not the result of logical, planned out things. Although some of us have higher or lower risk tolerances, but if you have had this inclination that, oh, I want to work with this person, and you've had it for days, weeks, months, years even, then yes, go ahead and take that action because that is a sign. And then, last but not least, the daily choices. What is one daily choice that no matter what anyone else does, no matter what their reactions or lack of reaction is, that you can do, that is moving you toward more experience, more expertise, more openness, more expansion into what you most want to be. All right, so that's what I have for you. Wishing you a wonderfully connected day. Until next time.